Hey everybody, my name's Joe.
I am also Joe.
Yawning in the middle of our recap video.
You started it while I was in the middle of yawning.
This is our 7th recap video of 5 games. We have officially played 35 games for the SNES's Life channel. Today we are talking about DForce, Joe and Mac, Lagoon, Lemmings, and Nolan Ryan's Baseball.
Yep.
So let's start with DForce. DForce was a vertical shmup, bottom up. It was kind of neat. You want to take this? You played it more than I did because you just tend to be better at these.
Well, DForce, I think it was special in the way of, you're playing as a helicopter, which I think is quite cool. I mean, it looks like a plane, but you can tell it's a helicopter.
It looks like any other shmup spaceship, frankly. But it has helicopter blades spinning, which is nice.
The two big special things about this game were the exploration levels, which
is what you're seeing right here. Yeah, you have the two altitudes. You can go up and down, which is kind of neat.
The exploration levels, yeah, you could go up and down, and there weren't really bad guys. It was more just dodge things.
Yeah, just don't die.
The bosses in this game seem to be significantly easier than the levels.
Yeah, the levels are pretty rough.
Yeah. So
yeah, fair enough. So the graphics were pretty decent.
I like the graphics, although it's hard to mess up.
Oh, here we get to see one of the bosses. So yeah, generally shmups aren't bad because, like Joey said, it's kind of hard to screw them up. So the graphics are pretty good. The color palette was nice. This particular level that you guys are seeing is pretty dark, but the other levels, outdoor levels, were pretty colorful. We all know I like bright colors. The sound was pretty decent. The music was good.
Yeah. I liked the music.
The gameplay was solid enough. The double altitude levels was a really
cool.
kind of neat idea that they implemented. I think that had they done that throughout the game, it would have been even better.
I think it would have been a lot more programming because it was already difficult as it was going through the levels.
Here you got that F-Zero effect in the background. But it's kind of neat. You take off every time, apparently this time from a nuclear submarine, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, overall, the game was pretty solid. Thumbs up.
I gave it a thumbs up.
Joey gave it a thumbs up. I also gave it a thumbs up. So the game was pretty good. I wish the sidekick homing missiles were better because they were pretty trash. So.
Oh, we used save states.
We save stated the piss out of this game. Anyway, 2 thumbs up for DForce. Next up, Joe and Mac, which is a 2-player simultaneous platformer, which is super nice. Caveman themed. Again, to me, this screams immediately, look at the vibrant, bright colors.
Yeah, it was a very cartoony, very fun,
Yeah, I mean,
platformer.
Just look at the guys. This super cartoony artwork. But that said, it was a really fun platformer, actually. I love the dinosaur when you hit him and his eyeballs like, burn. You're like, ah!
That is the noise he makes.
It is pretty much the noise he makes. So, there he goes. Oh, boom. So yeah, the graphics were pretty solid, vibrant, nice colors. The sound was pretty decent. The music
was pretty good.
The music was okay. It wasn't amazing or anything to write home about, but otherwise the sound was decent.
I think it fit.
Yeah.
The music.
Here we got kind of a Mario World level selector, which is kind of interesting. Pardon me. Gameplay was okay. For the most part, it was pretty easy and concise. Sometimes getting your jumps was a little hard. The hitboxes were a little wonky here and there. Not too bad. Not enough to complain about, really.
Right. The bosses were pretty easy.
Yeah.
At least once you get the pattern, because they.
Yep. The bosses were very patterned. So, and then I like the part where you die and you come back as an angel because you can float around for a little bit, and so you can get yourself, if you died like falling in water, you can get to a safe spot. Except I think right there I walked off and left Joey stuck on the side while he died. So, Joe and Mac, I think, is definitely a good game deserving of a full recommendation. I definitely gave it a thumbs up.
I gave it a thumbs up as well.
Yeah, Joe and Mac, definitely worth it. Go take a look for that game. I think there actually is a part 2.
I think
way
I remember
down the line.
You saying that.
But next up is Lagoon. So Lagoon is a top-down action RPG, kind of like Legend of Zelda. Everything's kind of happening as you go. You're collecting items. You're leveling up.
Me being the one that played this, you cannot skip any part of dialogue. You have to hit every flag in a specific order. The NPCs are slow. Like, very, very slow.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple guys early in that you have to get to follow you, and they just drag balls.
You have to grind. There is no going through bosses with little HP. And even then, like, this first boss that we're currently seeing, get in the wrong area, and he will just squish you into a corner and kill you.
Yep. I think this is right where
other
you get
than that,
him now.
I don't think it was a terrible game.
No. So, let's start from the top. Graphically speaking, the outdoor worlds...
I think the graphics are actually pretty good, and they put a lot of effort into animating his cape.
Yeah, oh god, they did. The cape animation, just the jumping animation on his cape was bonkers good. It's kind of cartoony, which is okay. The colors are nice and bright where they need to be. The outdoor world looks really good. Look at the bad guy here, Samson, I think it was. Big, bright, shiny red armor. Here's where I think you actually get him. So his helmet pops off in a second. You realize that Samson is... I don't want to call him a Cyclops, because the Cyclops is a giant with a human head that has an eye in the middle. This bro's entire head is just an eyeball. So, but it is really cool looking. So, graphically speaking, the game was pretty solid. Sound quality.
I don't think the sound was bad.
No.
When you're playing the game, the first quest, I guess, technically, you go into the cave and it's like, oh no, someone has fallen here. And it plays this very annoying, like, alarm noise.
Yes, it does.
But the way it fades from the alarm into the music for the cave, I think was really cool.
Yeah, the music was good. The sound was fine. I think overall it added what it needed to the game. It wasn't anything to you know, oh my god, it was the greatest thing ever, but it was really solid. So it was good for the game. Gameplay. Let's ignore the things that are good about the game for half a second. Let's focus on the one downside of the game. And that is, you can see Joey swinging his sword here. And
it is just as short as it looks.
If it is not basically in your face hitting you, you are not going to hit it. And you're not going to see it in this clip here, but eventually you do get ranged weapons.
You get a magic ability.
Which greatly improves the game and makes it feasible. But, like, you have to grind through your first 6 levels or so in that first dungeon with
so
your
that
crappy
you can beat
sword.
the boss.
Yeah, so that's pretty rough. And then the fly got you, drug you. Remember
all the way across the screen,
Yeah. Overall, though, what did you think? I mean, what are you giving this for a rating now?
I gave it a thumbs down.
Yep.
It's not that it was bad. Like, the story, I think, was okay. The combat was terrible. The issue, I think, is it's too much, in my opinion, like Legend of Zelda, like Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And it's just so much a better game than this is.
So the problem
like,
is
if
really
you want to play a
comparing.
game like this, just play Legend of Zelda. Really,
Yeah.
that's... It's a good game. Everyone will relate to it. People will be like, "Oh, are you playing a game?" You'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Link to the Past," and they'll be like, "Oh, I know what that is. That's a Legend of Zelda game."
Everyone knows what it is.
If you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Lagoon," everyone's gonna be like,
What the hell's Lagoon?
"Yeah, it's not worth playing." I think.
Right. I also gave this a thumbs down based on roughly the same concept. Actually, my big bugbear with it was it's not open world enough. So that first area is legit dungeon. You have to go through the dungeon. The only other option is to walk around town and talk to people. But in the end, if you don't go to the dungeon, you're not exploring anything else.
And you're not progressing the game.
And you're not progressing the story of the game. Now, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, which is what we're going to have to credit about. You could walk all over that world and do those dungeons in any kind of freakish order. This game was way linear and railroady. And because you have to grind those first 7 levels in that dungeon, and with that really bad combat, this low hitbox mechanic, I don't think it's worth it.
No, that's not counting the, like, hound dog
things.
things.
There's a common enemy in the first dungeon.
Its AI is all sorts of whack that just...
It's bad.
It walks around randomly and...
Don't get me wrong, the game looks decent and it's probably worth playing, but I'm not going to give it a thumbs up. So 2 thumbs down for Lagoon. Next up is Lemmings. Lemmings is a game that came out in like 1989. It is a puzzly platform, not even platform. It's just a puzzle. Yeah, it's just a puzzle game.
You have to get your little lemmings, which according to the manual are little rat people, into your door.
Yep.
And save them.
So basically, it just gives you levels full of hazards and puzzles that you have all these different guys down at the bottom, things you can select to tell them what to do. They bash through walls, they climb walls, they have umbrellas to parachute down. You can make them all explode and pop their heads like zits, which is, I think, frankly, probably one of the funnest parts to do in this game. You see Joey just put a blocker up there, and then you get your little basher dude, and he smashes through the wall to get you to the other side. So that's it. The music's pretty solid. It's pretty catchy. I mean, they're all like classical music pieces just put into,
I remember we
8-bit.
picked out a couple of them. We picked out the Can and London Bridge is Falling Down.
Yeah. So they're all really classic songs that you'll recognize. And, the gameplay's solid. The colors are bright and vibrant. Sound is good, yeah. You agree with all this?
I would agree with that, yeah. The game does slow down a lot when you
have
nuke everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's understandable. All the pixels become separate characters moving.
Yeah.
And so, I guess it makes sense that you would have that kind of slowdown.
Generally speaking, even with all the lemmings on screen right there, you're not getting a lot of slowdown, though. It's only when they explode and there's a billion pixels. Pixels everywhere. Now, I will admit, the graphics obviously are fairly rudimentary looking.
They're not great.
Right. This was ported from, like I said, 1989. We're talking 1992 at this point. Like, the graphics have much improved when you look at things like Super Mario World. But when you play this game, you're playing it more for the puzzling aspect than the graphics, really. So I overlooked that. So for me and Joey, I gave thumbs up.
I gave it a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up for Lemmings. Classic game. Definitely worth giving a shot. Next up, Nolan Ryan's Baseball. So, Joey, you can take this one. You and Josh played this on the stream yesterday while I was not here.
You were not here, and so I invited my friend Josh, who has actually been the substitute for you pretty much every time. Yep. Actually, he has been the substitute for you every time.
Indeed he has.
So, Nolan Ryan's Baseball, well, it's a baseball game.
Go figure.
In my opinion, it's the better of the 3 baseball games we've played. I enjoyed it a lot more. Around the middle of the stream, I started actually getting the hang of the timing and hitting the ball. The fielding, in my opinion, is way better. Yeah. So much better than all the other games they played. They did that really well. It's difficult. Yeah. Josh and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where you have to stand to hit the ball, what the timing is for the ball, but you get used to it. You get the hang of it eventually. It's a very cartoony game, as evident.
Yeah, it looks very much like a different animation style. It's very kind of bulbous and little tykes, like rounded guys with big round heads. That said, the colors are super vibrant. I like that.
The colors are nice and bright. At least Josh pointed out that they put a lot of detail, at least into the batter.
Yeah. I think you can stop in a number of different places for bunt, whereas some of the other games is just like you either came down straight or you swung through. Right. This one you can really get that full range of motion.
I think the graphics are good.
Yeah, the graphics look pretty solid. And actually, I didn't play it on Saturday night, but we
played it.
We did just play it a little bit ago. Yeah. So I did play it. Yeah, the graphics. I think the graphics are totally fine.
Huge thing. One of the only sports games to have music.
There was another one that had music.
I think there was
that we played, wasn't there?
I don't know which one it was, but I do remember there was one.
Was it? I think it was Super Baseball 1000 or 1.000.
I think you're right.
Another one. But
it's a huge thing when a sports game has music because so many of them don't. But like, there's
at least the early ones.
There's the noise of throwing the ball. There's the noise of catching it. There's the guy going safe when you.
Out.
Yeah. There's the noise when you hit the ball.
Nobody goes and gets it.
But I think it was a good game.
Yeah, so
I gave it a thumbs up. Josh gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, gameplay's solid. You know, there's a nice batter's box. It's just as hard to hit the ball as every other game, but
it is
whatever.
Difficult, but
the fielding did seem a little smoother, except I couldn't get the guys to like dive for the ball, which is kind of annoying. Like, you'd see the ball go near you, and you're like, just jump for it, dude. You can get there.
I think if you hit A, they dive.
I couldn't get them to do it. The one thing I don't like about the game, and I don't know that you guys will even see it. So when it's in fielding mode, it waits forever to go back to batting mode. So, like, when we played it, I hit a ball, I got to first base, and Joey's throwing the ball around. First, second, third, home. First, second, third, home. First, second. And it's just like, I'm not running. Like, just let it. And even after he stopped throwing the ball, it took it like a solid 5 seconds before it switched back to batter mode. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm obviously not stealing a base. Just let it go back so we can keep playing. But that is a super small niggle point.
Yeah. Something
comparatively to everything else.
Something cool I think this game did, very unique. When, like, if you throw the ball to first base and it's very close to my guy getting to first base, it'll go into this, like, bird eyes perspective looking down.
And show whether the runner beats the ball in or not, which is really cool. It was kind of a really neat thing to add to the game. I don't think you're going to see it in the clip here.
Probably not.
But it was a really neat thing. So I also gave this a thumb up, which makes, I think, this is the first baseball game to receive all-around thumbs up.
Yep.
Like, I know it's Super Baseball. I gave a thumbs up, but you thumbed down, I think. So, definitely cool to see a sports game. Well, I guess we thumbed up golf, because golf, for some reason, is entertaining. But nice to see a baseball game make double thumbs up. So that's it, guys. That is our 5-game recap. Remember to join us, www.snesislife.com. That's it. Have a good time.
See you guys.